you can do hard things. We can do hard things. And that might be going outside and getting some real light in your eyes, even though it is 10 degrees and a little snowy outside. I actually started doing this winter, and I noticed right away. It took about 2 weeks for my body to just feel so much more energetic and so much better and so much more, I don't, accepting, maybe, and in tune, in the flow, in the rhythm of the earth. Welcome to Forest Fire Rising, the podcast for visionaries and mystics alike. Those who know we are all connected and aren't here for mediocrity, but know they can create anything they desire. A space devoted to helping you root back into your body, your rhythm, and the world around you to become the embodied version of yourself that is safe to receive, express, and blossom into who you always knew you were meant to be. I am your host, Shauna, a college graduate 9-to-5 employee turned creative entrepreneur, breaker of chains, and rhythmic teacher. I am here to guide those who are ready to get back into the flow of nature and flow of themselves. I am on this journey with you, and I am so excited to walk through it together. Hello, beautiful souls. What the fuck is up? Happy mid-August? No, we're into late August now. I am just I'm feeling really good about the seasons and the changing of the seasons. Honestly, being in tune with the seasons has changed my fucking life. It makes it so much easier to just flow and feel good and optimize my body and my mind. So today I want to talk about the circadian rhythm. I've been saying since I relaunched the podcast that I want to do an episode on the circadian rhythm, and it really just dawned on me how fucking important. Last week or 2 weeks ago, I did a recent episode about my top 5 health wellness things that I do that have changed my fucking life. And I was thinking of that, and I'm like, water and light are like the most foundational things that we can do for our body. Everything I talked about in that other episode, absolutely foundational. I'm going to always do all of them and whatnot. But really, if you had to pick just like 2 things to get your shit together with to improve your health and your wellness, it is going to be water and circadian rhythm. And today I want to talk about circadian rhythm because I'm noticing, the wheel of the year is about to spin. The air is cooling off, and it is so important to align ourselves with these seasons that we're in and with the days and the time. If you have not heard of the circadian rhythm, it is your body's internal clock. We have this group of cells in our brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. And it is a group of cells that acts as our body's internal clock. And the way that it gets that information is from getting information from the sun. There has been a lot of talk about the sun being bad for us and the sun being good for us lately in social media, wellness, and the health spaces. A lot of debate there. And there is no question at all that the sun is healing. It's so good for us. Think about what it does for the earth and everything around us, how it regulates, how nature just does not need any guidance except for really from the sun every part of the year. And it just does what it's supposed to do without question, without having to think about it. And we humans are part of nature. We're not like of nature, going into nature. We don't, go outside sometimes and get in nature. We are nature as, biological beings of the earth. We are nature. So it only makes sense that we should also be living and aligning ourselves to the rhythms of the sun and absorbing those light codes that really tell our body how to operate, how to what to do next, how to behave, how to heal. And our bodies are 100% able to heal themselves, and we have been so disconnected from ourselves and from nature in this society that we live in, and the way that they have things running right now. We are so disconnected. And I fully believe that this disconnection from Mama Earth and nature and spirit and ourselves and each other is the cause of so much illness, so much anger, and just everything, so much family issues, so many health issues, so many relationship issues are happening because of this disconnection from the way that we are meant to live. And the number one way that you can start to reconnect, I call it rewilding. I love that term because it just reminds me that we are part of nature, and I am a fucking wild woman. I call myself a wild woman of Earth. And so I love to share how we can rewild ourselves and align with nature and get to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And it really starts with this foundation. So foundational to give yourself in your body the optimal conditions to heal and do what it's meant to do, that we just have been so disconnected. And we are, we live where people have to get up for work. They have to get up 1-2 hours before the sun gets up. Sometimes they get to work before it's light out, and they are watching the sunrise. They are getting light in their eyes through the fucking window of their car, which is not good enough. The windows, glasses, contact lenses filter out so much light, or so many wavelengths that are necessary for our bodies to absorb all of the light codes that it needs to know what time it is. It is our circadian rhythm and the absorption of light into our bodies, into our cells, that tells our body what time it is. And it's part of waking up. It's part of having energy in the morning. It is part of avoiding an afternoon crash. It's part of sleeping well. It's part of brain function, cognitive brain function. And so you can think about how all those things are really adding to our life and our bodies and how we fucking feel every day. So you should be getting outside and getting real light in your eyes 30 to 60 minutes from when you wake up. And you should be doing this every day of the year, no matter what time it is or what time of the year it is. I live in Minnesota. We get super cold, super freaking long, true winters here, like snow, not going outside to hike, nothing like that. But every single time of the year, you should be going out. You can do hard things. We can do hard things. And that might be going outside and getting some real light in your eyes, even though it is 10 degrees and a little snowy outside. I actually started doing this winter, and I noticed right away. It took about 2 weeks for my body to just feel so much more energetic and so much better and so much more, accepting maybe, and in tune, in the flow, in the rhythm of the earth. Like, I am somebody that I love summer. I do not like when I can't go outside. I won't say that I like winter. I like the slowness. I like the opportunity that gives me to go inward. And I like the, all the seasonal warm foods and all the cozy stuff that comes with it. But that is something that I learned from learning to be more in flow with the seasons. Summer is always go, 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 go. Winter, we slow down, we go inward, and being able to feel good at all times of the year is really set upon living in the rhythm with these seasons and these cycles, and getting your circadian rhythm and your seasonal living routine on locked in is going to do so much for you. Like, I have noticed I used to be so miserable. The seasonal affective disorder in the winter was brutal. I would just want to sleep all day, lay in bed. Even though I had all this time, I would never get any work done. I would just be so depressed, so anxious, and just so upset until spring came. And the last couple of years, I really started embracing the seasons and the rhythm and the flow. And I don't feel that way. I still get a little bit of disease when winter comes around, just because I love summer and outside so much, but I'm no longer like debilitated for the whole season because I aligned my body with these seasons. I surrendered to the flow of where I live, and I did that by locking in my circadian rhythm, by getting outside between 30 to 60 minutes when I wake up. Even if it's cold out, even if it's rainy. Sometimes if it's rainy, I will just open the sliding door and stand there. I did that sometimes when it was snowy too. But whatever I could do to get out and get some light in my eyeballs in the morning. Because what this does is it signals to your body that it's time to wake up. It promotes a slow cortisol spike, which we want to happen early in the day, so that we can, our cortisol can drop, and then we start winding down for bed. Cortisol is definitely a buzzword right now in the wellness community. We're talking about lowering our cortisol, about regulating our nervous system, and we definitely don't want too much cortisol. We don't want to spike our cortisol when it's not supposed to be spiked. So you should be regulating your nervous system. And this comes back to, I'm going to say, the circadian fucking rhythm. Because we want our cortisol to spike early in the day. When we wake up, we want that to start rising so that we get our energy for the day, and our hormones know what time it is, and our bodies know what time it is. So you want to get outside for any amount of time you can in the morning. Any amount of time. A good guideline is like 20 minutes if it's sunny, 20 minutes if it is overcast, 10 minutes if it's cloudy, 5 minutes if it's sunny. And those are just guidelines, but really don't let that stop you. If you don't have 20 minutes and it's overcast, go out for 5. Don't let those guidelines stop you. But if you are someone that wants straight guidelines and tips, there they are. And we also want to be having super duper dark evenings in our home. We have, TVs and screens and overhead lights on after sunset, and it is ruining our sleep and our bodies. So once it's sunset, our bodies, natural part of nature, think about if we were just living outside like the animals, we would not have light after sunset. So we should be trying to recreate that as much as possible inside our homes. So turn the overhead lights off, light some candles, get some red or warm light bulbs to put in some lamps. I know people that have a little handheld lamp, and it is a red light, perfect for the circadian rhythm, exactly what we're supposed to be experiencing, does not mess up our rhythm at all. And they carry that around. You can wear blue light glasses. That's what I personally, I have string lights, incandescent string lights that I was really lucky to find, that I have hanging up around my apartment. And after sunset, that's all we use. And if I have to look at a screen, I am an entrepreneur. You might be an entrepreneur too. You might be a busy girl. And you're like, well, sometimes I just have to work at night. Fine. Get some blue light glasses. That's what I do. I wear them if I have to look at my computer or my phone, or even if we want to watch a movie later at night, I will put the blue light glasses on and wear them so that I can still, participate in the matrix, participate in life, but still be super respectful and uphold my boundaries to my body to let my circadian rhythm do that. Even like I go to the gym at night sometimes or often, and I will wear my blue light glasses while I'm working out because I don't want that overhead light to mess with me at all. And we want to do this, at least 2 hours before we go to bed. But I like to stay in line with the seasons as much as possible, and I will just do it at sunset. Whatever whenever it gets dark outside is when my home starts to get dark. And our circadian rhythm is all about letting our body know where we are in the world and what time it is. And that goes along with eating as well. So our bodies are so in tune with our internal clock. And we want to be eating with the seasons as well, which is honestly super easy to do once you start paying attention to what's available around you. If you can shop at a farmer's market, you will 100% be exposed to what's seasonal. You won't even have to think about it. But like right now, it is summertime. We want to be eating a lot of hydrating foods like summer squash and watermelon and fruits and fresh herbs and fresh lettuce and tropical fruits and all those treats. We want to be having ice cream, cold smoothies, salt that is going to hydrate us and keep us alive for all the summer activities and the summer sun. And then going into fall, we want to start eating sweet potatoes and roots and carrots and squash and soup. And then in the winter, we want to continue that and keep eating soups and warm stews. And, we have this world where we can go to the grocery store and get whatever the fuck we want at any time. But it has not always been like that. And it's not part of our natural biology. So, you don't want to be eating mangoes and pineapple and a bunch of fresh fruit in the winter. Don't get me wrong, if you want to sometimes, go ahead. But, don't be regularly buying pre-cut fruit that comes from wherever that you don't live, that's not in season, to be eating, we want to be eating in the winter root vegetables, potatoes, apples. Apples are something that's always in season. It's really easy to look up what's in season around you. One tip I have for that, look at what is on sale. The grocery store often has stuff that's on sale, or stuff that is in season on sale, because they have an abundance of it, because it's not hard to grow. Think about what is good. Like right now, watermelons are so yummy. And if I bought a watermelon in January, it probably is going to suck and be flavorless because it's not the right time for it. And so you really should be paying attention to what you're eating and eating seasonal. It's the ultimate freaking biohack, seasonal eating. And it's easy. It's easy when you start paying attention because you just buy what's available. And it is good for the planet. It's good for your body. It's good for your wallet because out of season stuff is always going to cost more. And you also want to be trying to eat at the same times every single day. I am somebody that has my hunger cues super duper locked in. And when I am ready for lunch, when it is time for lunch, for me, it's around 1 to 2 p.m. I am hungry. I am ready to eat. And same for dinner, same for breakfast. I wake up hungry because I have my hunger cues on lock. I have my body knows when to expect food, and my digestion is better because of it. My skin is better because of it. My energy levels are better because of it. I do not let my body go unnourished. And you might be somebody that skips breakfast. Maybe you skip lunch too. It might be hard at first, but once you do start eating at regular times throughout the day and giving your body regular sustenance, you will begin to just notice how much hungrier you are and how much easier it is to control your portions and not think about food as much and just give your body what you need, what it needs. Listen to your body. And we also, in regards to our circadian rhythm, we want to be getting our feet on the ground. We want to be telling our body where we are in the world. And we need to do that by getting our feet on the earth, doing some grounding, even in the winter. Even in the winter, I will say, like, I could probably do 1 to 2 minutes if there's snow on the ground, but I know it is so important for me. Like this past winter when I started getting my circadian rhythm locked in, even though it was cold outside, I noticed so many differences. It has probably been like one of the biggest changes in my health besides drinking the right water. And yeah, it's hard, but get your feet on the ground every single day. And, you know, I'm giving you guys some tips, but really just get outside as much as you can. For sure, within waking, for sure, get that sunlight in your eyes before you look at your phone, before you turn on other lights in your house. You want that to be the first thing you do. And you don't have to like go out there and just stare at the sky either. Like I go outside sometimes and I read whatever book I'm reading at the time because I know that the light is getting in my eyes. And you might think like, oh, there's not that much light out there if it's cloudy or whatever. Or in the winter, it's overcast almost every day here when it's snowy. And you might think, oh, there's not that much light out there for me. And no, think about it. What's it like at nighttime when the sun is actually sleeping? How much lighter is it during the daytime, even if it's overcast? And you're going to tell me that there is no light to be absorbed, even though it is overcast? Like, just think about it that way. There is light out there. It's so much lighter than at nighttime. There's light codes, information to be absorbed. And you want to be doing that for sure without sunglasses, without a window, without contact lenses. And same, you know, sunglasses, you want to be wearing them as little as possible. Like they are endocrine disruptors because these light codes that get into our brain through our retinas are vital for our health, and wearing sunglasses directly goes against that. So like, you know, if you need to drive or it's super bright out and you need to be wearing sunglasses, do that. But don't be regular wearing sunglasses just because it's what we have been taught to do and what is normal to do. And some people even think that when we are going to be in the sun for a long time, you know, we should be watching the sunrise and the sunset to start acclimating our body to the day. And they say that we will get less sunburnt because we gave our body that information and let our body do the work in preparing for the day. And we should be going outside sometimes without sunscreen. Sunscreen can be an endocrine disruptor too. Now, I'm not saying that you should never wear sunscreen and that sunscreen is going to whatever. But you should be having some time without sunscreen, you know. You shouldn't be going out for hours and hours and hours without sunscreen and letting yourself get sunburned in the name of not wearing sunscreen, but sometime without sunglasses, without sunscreen, get those light codes directly in you. And it doesn't even take that long. And we not only want to be getting that sunlight right when we wake up, we want to be getting it at about the same time every day. So even on the weekends, that's another way that we have been totally fucked over by the society we lived in. Our health has been totally fucked over, is having to, we wake up super early and then we sleep in on the weekends, and we want to be waking up the same time and going to bed about the same time every single day. You will watch your sleep completely transform when you do that. You won't even need an alarm to wake up. I still set alarms, but I never need them. I always wake up before them or around the same time. And yes, you want to be getting that clock daily and remembering that we have our circadian rhythm, we have the light codes getting into our brain, but every single cell in our body has its own clock. So that's why it's so effective to our digestion, to our skin, to every system in our body. So my challenge to you this week is to look at the sun before your phone. think of a way that you can implement one of these tips I gave you to start aligning with the earth, to start getting more connected, to start being more alive and vibrant with the earth and sea, especially right now while it's summertime. Great time to start this. I started this protocol in the winter, and it was so hard at first because it was cold outside. I didn't want to get up. It was cold in my apartment. It was gray and dark all the time. It was hard. So take the time right now while it's still summer, while it's still warm outside, while the sun is still bright and shiny, and start aligning yourself with wherever you live, with the light codes and the earth of wherever you go. And it'll be easier. So then by the winter time, you got the shit on lock, and you can get up and get outside, look at the sun. Make sure you don't look right at the sun unless the sun is rising or setting. That is the only time that we can safely look right at the sun. And it's actually a super cool sensation and thing to look at because the sun, it just is super duper, almost psychedelic looking. You don't have to be on psychedelics, but it looks cool as fuck. And it's so good for you to get that light in your eyes. And one thing I didn't mention, I just talked about the sunset. Looking at the sunset is another great way to align your circadian rhythm to where you live. So you're telling your body, this is the light's going away, the day is ending, it is time to start winding down. Look at the sunset. Look at the sunrise if you can. I'll be honest, I don't always look at the sunrise, but I do look at the sun, at the sky, get sunlight in my eyes within 30 minutes of waking up every single day. Even if I'm in a hurry, I still make time for at least 5 minutes of it. So get outside as much as you can. Get outside in the late afternoon. You can really fight that late afternoon crash by just reminding your body it's still light outside. We still have all this goodness to absorb. So that is my challenge. Just pick a way that you can align to your circadian rhythm. Start implementing these little things, and I promise you will feel so good. So fucking good when your circadian rhythm is aligned. And I love you all so much. I hope you have a beautiful day, a beautiful night, wherever you are, whatever time it is. Don't forget to like and comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and I will see you next time.